You're listening to the Air Hug Community Podcast. Hello and welcome. My name is Judy Arizosa, and I am the host of the Air Hug Community Podcast. And if you're new here, let me just tell you what we're all about. We are a community that believes supporting each other can be wonderful, and it helps improve the lives of others as well as our life. We believe in living well, and that includes physical fitness, eating well, but also mental fitness. We believe that movement should be fun, and that eating to live better should also be fun and delicious. We have conversations and stories from guests and myself that are often inspired by the thousands of conversations I've had one-on-one with working with women over the last dozen years, but also with conversations with several of my besties with our one-on-one walks that we love to take together. So have a listen, and I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining in. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Yes, thank you so much, Mark Twain. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 58 here on the Air Hug Community Podcast. So today I want to have a little conversation with you and dispel some commonly held fitness myths. So, because these have been coming up a lot in conversation, and some of them just make me laugh. So let's get right to it. We're just going to list them right off and talk about them and have a little conversation. All right? Are you ready? Let's do this. Number one, blank food is fattening. So I get a text about once a week from people who contact me and want to know if a certain food is fattening. Most recently, somebody just asked me if protein powder was fattening. Somebody else asked me if bananas were fattening. And then, of course, there is the old, this one was really hard to dispel, but I think we're getting close to getting on the other side of it, that fat is fattening. So, here's another one. Bread is fattening. Carbs are fattening. The truth of the matter is any food eaten in excess can pack on extra fat on your body. But no food alone just magically, if you eat it, will make you fat. What makes you fat is having more energy than you need, and the energy then gets stored as fat. It's as plain and simple as that. So unless you're allergic to something, nothing is off limits 100%. Okay? All right, that's number one. Number two, you must go out of your comfort zone to make any progress whatsoever. And I am talking about both in the exercise world and in the kitchen. So here's the thing. If you're wanting to make a change and you're not happy with where you are, can we just agree that you're already not comfortable? So you're not in a comfort zone, you're in a misery zone. Because obviously, if you want something to change, maybe your body composition, for example, then you're not in a comfort zone. So you're already not worried about it. It's not like you're going out of your comfort zone. You're just going to go into a different zone of discomfort. So you get to make a choice. Do you want to stay where you are and be in the discomfortable zone? Let's say that again. Uncomfortable zone that you're in, one where you're not happy with yourself as far as body composition goes? Or are you ready to try something different and maybe make a little bit of progress? Although it will be uncomfortable, you will also be out of a comfort zone, but you have a chance of improving your original conditions. So there you have it. You don't have to go out of your comfort zone to improve your health and fitness, because the fact of the matter is, if you want to improve it, you're not in a comfort zone. It's just a different type of uncomfortable zone. All right, let's move on to number 3. muscle soreness. So this is a big one. Very often people, especially after a workout, will say a day or two that if it didn't make them sore, then it was not effective. And that could not be further from the truth. So muscle soreness happens when you work a muscle in a different way than what you have been working it recently. So you're coming at it from a different angle. You're just doing things a little bit different. And when you do that, you are more likely to get sore. But let's say you're really good at squatting. And you squat, maybe even once a week or a couple times a week. And you just do it different ways. But again, you're still squatting. So after a while, maybe squats are not going to make you sore. It doesn't mean the squats are not effective, especially if you're working on ways to change it up a little bit. Now, sometimes they might make you sore and sometimes they might not. So by the same token, let's talk about something like, all right, squats again. Maybe you still do squats regularly, but you haven't done a box squat in a long time, and you start putting box squats into your routine. And that just changes the angle enough for some people that they may end up being sore after doing box squats if they haven't done them in a while. So muscle soreness is not a barometer for how effective your workout is. And I know some people love to be sore and crave that soreness, and other people hate to be sore, but just listen up here. If you've done a workout and you haven't done anything to hurt yourself, then your workout has been effective. Okay? So let's move on. Now, obviously, before we move on, there's some workouts are more effective than others, and we're not going to get into that today because that could be an entirely different discussion. And if you want to get into that, let me know, and we'll talk about it another time. All right, let's talk about this one. This is meal frequency, and this is a big one. So eating frequently does not expend more energy than eating less frequently. So, for example, if you eat 500 calories 6 times a day, let's say you're the type of person who can maintain 3,000 calories a day. I don't know, maybe you're like Michael Phelps or something. But whether you eat 500 calories 6 times a day or you have 3 meals of 1,000 calories, the difference in the energy expended through digestion is not going to be any different either way. So a lot of people seem to think that eating more frequently keeps their metabolism revved up. The overall amount of energy burned due to digestion at the end of the day, if you take in the same amount, is going to be the same. So it just depends on how you break it up. It's a simple math problem. So you can put that myth to rest. There you have it. All right, here's another one. Let's talk another one about eating frequency. All right. Eating more frequently makes you less hungry. True or false? True or false? So here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think it's true or false. So it's maybe not a myth. It might be a myth if you believe that all the time. What I think is, there's no evidence to show that it makes you less hungry. However, some people have cravings in different ways. And so if eating more frequently makes you not have as many cravings, and you can still maintain the same amount of energy as far as in versus out that you can, let's say you're trying to be in a fat loss zone and you're eating in a small deficit, but it makes you maybe feel a little bit better to eat more frequently, then go ahead and do it. But there's no evidence that it actually decreases your hunger. So I personally have found, I used to be strictly 5 meals a day, and I finally got fed up with being in the kitchen all the time. So I've cut down to 3 meals most of the time, and I really don't notice any difference. And actually, now that I don't have to think about like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to eat again in 3 hours, it's almost as if it's less complicated and it's simple. It's like, all right, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, I'm not going to say that I never have a snack. Once in a while, I'll have a snack, but by and large, just doesn't seem to be necessary. So that's up to you, but there's no evidence to say that if you eat more frequently, you might be less hungry. So I know that many women, when they're pregnant, report that if they eat a little bit more frequently and keep a little something in their stomach, they might be less nauseous. But then there are others, who said the opposite. So these are interesting little fitness myths, and I just wanted to bring them up because they come up in conversation a lot. And so let's review them really quick. No one particular food can make you fat. Okay, will not make you store more fat. And I don't mean that you are fat, because that's a big bone of contention I have with people. What I mean is that we will hold on to more fat on our body. So there is no single food that will do that. Not protein powder, not fruit, not bread, not sugar. Anything eaten in balance is going to keep your body in balance. So if you're eating the right amount for your body expenditure, and then if you want to lose a little bit of fat, you're going to be eating a little bit less than that. It doesn't matter what the food is. However, I will say, for health reasons, you want to do things like make sure you're hitting all your macronutrients and micronutrients. So you want to be eating, the best quality food that you can, minimally processed. Make sure you're getting your vegetables in, because that's how you get your micronutrients. And then just pay attention to your macronutrients, all right? So your carbohydrates, your fat, and your protein. And let's not forget fiber. We need to get our fiber in daily too. And if you want to know a little bit more about that, we did an episode on that, and I believe it was episode maybe 55. I believe it was episode 55. Okay. All right, this whole comfort zone thing. This, I think, came to be because a lot of health gurus, fitness professionals, whatever, on social media kept posting these like memes and quotes saying you have to go out of your fitness zone. Oopsie, comfort zone. And can I just tell you, I was one of them. I posted it, circa 2012 maybe. But I've seen it out there so much lately that it's pretty much like white noise. But the fact of the matter is, remember, at the starting point here, if you're wanting to make a change in your body composition, you are not in a comfort zone. So it's not like you're going out of a comfort zone. Basically, what you're in is a familiar zone. All right? And you're going to go from a familiar, uncomfortable zone to an unfamiliar, uncomfortable zone. That's what we're talking about. So make no mistake there. All right, number 3 was muscle soreness. Is it required for a workout to be effective? And the answer was no way, Jose. And we talked about that. You do not need to have muscle soreness after every single workout, nor should you have muscle soreness after every single workout. But if you do have muscle soreness after some workouts, that's fine. Get a little recovery in, get some nice movement in. Do not lay around on the couch, because that's just going to make you more stiff and achy. So, all right, eating frequently. All right, does eating frequently expand more energy, aka burn more calories than eating not frequently? And the answer to that is no. And then we have another eating frequently thing. Does eating frequently decrease hunger? And there's no evidence for that, but there might be some personal preference as far as some people may have less cravings if they eat more frequently, and some people may have less cravings if they eat less frequently, kind of like out of mind, out of sight. So this has been just some things that really have been coming up lately, and I wanted to put them out there for you to just listen to and know and make note of. So grab this little episode and share it. If you think someone else that you know and care about is playing up to these myths and believes them to be actual fact. So I want to thank you for joining in. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next Tuesday here on the Air Hug Community Podcast. Hey, and if you are looking for some ideas for maybe a delicious, wonderful breakfast, you can grab my healthy smoothie guide free, and I'll pop it in the show notes for you. It's just a very simple template for making smoothies, and you can customize it according to your own flavor preferences. It's just my thank you for you popping in here to listen and share time with us on the Air Hug community.